Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Clutch Talk podcast /YouTube /We Do It All. As always, I'm your host, John. Very happy to be here. My brother, Trent. How you doing, my dog?
What's going on, man? What's going on, man? Today, I'm doing good, man. Besides my internet. When you don't have internet in your house or it just keeps messing up, bro, there's so much little stuff that you can do, and it's just frustrating.
Man,
but besides that, I'm doing good, man. Ready for the podcast, man. It's going to be a good episode. Let's get straight to it.
Yes, sir, man. Let's get straight to it. I am happy that you're here, though. You know what I'm saying? I know the internet's lagging, but I'm happy you're here, though, my brother. Today is Tuesday, January 10th. Let's go ahead and get straight into it, man. Very fun, jam-packed episode. First thing that I want to get into, though, before we get into any of the segments that I have here for today, is I just gotta give a shout out, man. You know what I'm saying? Just a personal shout out to our guy, man. Our guy Shane Lawal. For everybody that's been listening to the pod for a long time, man, you know that this off season we did interviews with a bunch of players, and one of the first interviews we did was with our guy Shane Lawal, and who he ended up getting hired as a Kings player development coach. So yesterday, I went up to the Kings game, and pre-game seen my guy Shane, say what's up to my guy Shane. Showed major love. Brought me on the court, man. I was sitting right there courtside, right behind the cameraman that always be getting ran over under the hoop, man. I'm watching Sabonis warm up, Aaron Fox warm up. It was just honestly an experience of a lifetime, man. So before we even get into anything, I just had to give a big shout out to Shane and the whole Kings organization, man, for taking your boy in. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny that you talk about the Kings because I literally have a video in my private talking about how they're like the scariest team in the NBA.
Hey, I was watching them yesterday. They are legit, dog. They are legit. People that question whether the Kings are going to make the playoffs or not probably aren't really watching the Kings because they're going to make the playoffs this year, man. The way they're hooping deserves it, man. So definitely shout out the Kings.
They put points up, man. They put points up.
They had a franchise record last night, actually, of three-pointers made. They shot 51% from three as a team for the whole game. So
that's incredible. Only usually like a player does that for a
exactly,
team.
man. Exactly, man. They are getting to it. So just wanted to give the Kings and my guy Shane a quick shout out, man. So let's go ahead and get into our first segment here for the day. The classic, for people that listen to the pod for a long time. Y'all know about the up or down report. Very simple, man. I have 4 statements here. You tell me if you're up and you're down on it. We can discuss it further, not discuss it further. This is a great segment. This usually sparks a couple of debates, man. So
yeah, man, I'm ready.
You ready to get into it, my boy?
I'm ready. Let's get it.
Let's do it. All right, my boy. So look, man, the Nets been balling out, man. They were on a 12-game winning streak before this last loss that they had to the Heat. Right now, they're currently sitting in the second seed. But in that game versus the Heat, KD did go down with an injury, and he played through it. And then next day, it got ruled as a MCL sprain, and he will be out at least 2 weeks. So my up or down statement to you, my brother, is up or down. Will the Nets be able to remain a top 3 seed with KD out now? Down. Okay. Why are you down on that? Talk to me.
Because listen, I love what the team is constructed. I love how the team is constructed. Like any championship team, that's how you want, as is the Brooklyn Nets. You have your 2 stars. I consider Ben Simmons a role player, tier star, whatever you want to call it. But when you lose one of them, it's going to be tough because now you're telling Ben Simmons to play more the level that we know he just can't play. And now you're telling the role players to step up. And yes, some of them could step up, but they're just typically role players, where role players have good games and they have bad games. That's why they're not stars yet, or superstars. Stars usually have good games all the time, and maybe they have that one bad game, but majority throughout, they're going to play pretty good. And so losing your best player on your team is different compared to like the Pelicans and stuff like that, because they're constructed good too, but they also still got two other stars on that team. Now we all see how Kyrie Irving plays with just the team that he has overall. I don't think he can carry them just alone. I personally just can't. I just don't think he could. And Ben Simmons doesn't put up enough points. This is a scoring league. It's not a defensive league. It's a scoring league. So it's like now you're telling Ben Simmons, I need 20 plus when we all know he's not capable of doing that. So now you're going to have Kyrie Irving doing what he's going to do, but it's just going to put more on his back. And I just don't think this team could afford a Kevin Durant loss. Now, I still see them as a top 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. And when KD comes back, I feel like they're still going to be perfectly fine. But with this loss, I don't think they're going to be on the 12-game win streak or a 5-game win streak, stuff like that. I just don't see it happening.
Man, I could not agree with you anymore. I'm down on that. I'm down on that statement as well, man. I mean, the Nets. I've been saying this really since the beginning of the season. They're a top heavy team. They're an extremely top heavy team. They have KD, Kyrie, the big names, right? And then Ben Simmons, TJ Warren, Seth Curry. You think like, wow, those are big names, big splashes. But and then their bench is just honestly, I'm not trying to be rude, but just scrubs that should not be in the league and cannot produce winning and on a winning team. So I mean, honestly, yeah, the Nets were probably the team in the league that could least afford an injury, to their star player because they need it. They need KD, Kyrie. Oh, you don't agree with that statement, my boy? You don't agree with that?
I don't think their bench is scrubs. I think they got some players over there like Yuta. I cannot say his name, but he's the Yuta wannabe or something like
the Chinese guy. Yep.
Yeah, yep. I think he's talented. Cam, what's his name? Cam, that
Thomas.
rookie. Cam Thomas. He's a okay. Like they got Edmund Summer over there, Claxton, even though he's in the lineup, but like they got some players over there that can provide. Like a TJ Warren coming off your bench is pretty good, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, benches are not going to be that as elite. It's just not really. I mean, you're going to need a couple of pieces coming off the bench for you to win a championship, but they're not going to be as elite. So with having Seth, Joe, and TJ Warren, it's going to have to bring more players coming off their rotation, though. I'll tell you that. Like more players that aren't on DMPs, like a Markieff Morris, he's going to have to start stepping up a little bit more. Like everybody's going to have to start stepping up. So we'll see then. And to be honest with you, if they can keep this, if they remain this stretch of playing good basketball without KD, then I would 100% be confident of them reaching the Eastern Conference Finals. If they can remain this good without Kevin Durant and their role players continue to step up, it's kind of like the Golden State situation where they play some really good basketball without their best player, Steph Curry, and now they're going to be something to watch out for because now they got Wiggins back, Curry. They're going to be a team to be reckoned with in the West. So I can see the same thing for the East,
Man, hey, look, I'll say this. Maybe they're not scrubs, but I'll tell you this. If TJ Warren coming off your bench and being one of the highest scoring options for you, I think you're in trouble, especially now because TJ Warren might even get slotted to that starting lineup. So, and then, again, like players that were getting DNPs are now going to be asked to play. And I just honestly can't see that holding up. I mean, if the Nets players can just honestly kind of like how the Lakers are similar to the Warriors, you're not as dominant as you were when your other player was there, but yeah, as long as you don't go on a 6-game losing streak like the Clippers or the Suns or something like that. So, man, I think the Nets, they will not remain a top 3 seed, man. And that really hurt them to see KD go out, and especially because KD a lot of the times, man, he played big man defense. He played defense on the other man's bigs, and they already struggled. The Nets already had a problem with bigs. Nicholas Claxton, don't get me wrong, he's a good lob guy. He's not a real big in this league though. He can't hold up his own. And now you're going to take out KD, who is, I guess, his wingman, his partner he was supposed to rock with down there in the low block. So big trouble for the Nets up ahead. Big.
And before the session's over, right, I would like to say KD's a very underrated defender now.
Facts.
Very underrated. Like the impact that he brings on the defense end now in his career is insane.
Facts. And also, to be real with you, a lot of people should have realized that back when he was on the Warriors, because when he was on the Warriors, a lot of teams, like the Houston Rockets, for an example, they try to take that same small ball, let's just all be shooters strategy, except they didn't have a Kevin Durant who is 7 foot tall and can actually play defense on real bigs in this league, right? They were running with a PJ Tucker. That was a 6'7" out there. I'm talking like that 2020 Rockets, man. So yeah, I mean, KD's a great defender for what he does in the offensive end too, man. So All right, man. So let's go ahead and keep it pushing my boy to the next up or down statement. This one right here is a stretch, but it makes sense. So here we go. I'm gonna talk to you. Look, Jason Tatum. All right, he's just 24 years old. He's a year older than me. Okay, Jason Tatum, 24 years old, just entered the Celtics top 15 scoring list of all time. He's now the 15th player in Celtics history, NBA Celtics history, to he's a 15th all-time leading scorer. But my up or down statement to you, my brother, is will Jason Tatum, when he finishes his career, finish as the greatest Celtics scorer of all time?
No, he won't. That's going to be down. I don't see it happening. I understand he's still young. I understand. Let's get this straight, right? The truth of the reality is of the NBA, there's no loyalty. There's just no type of loyalty in the NBA. We've seen it with his partner in crime of Jaylen Brown. They try to ship him off to Brooklyn for Kevin Durant, right? Obviously, the Celtics' main goal is to keep Jason Tatum throughout his whole career. But my question is, Jason Tatum's loving this now because his teams have been great throughout his career. Like they've been pretty solid. They have been playoff teams. He has been on winning seasons. But when it gets to the ugly parts of, we all know it happens to teams no matter what. If you start winning championships, you can win for the first 2 years, and after that, it's going to fall down. Is he going to be happy, and is he willing to stay with the Boston Celtics when this team falls down? Because it's going to happen. Like that matters so much. And the fact, the truth of the matter is, if Jaylen Brown's up and out of here, is Jason Tatum going to be happy about that? Is he going to be happy about that? The fact is, Jaylen Brown was already thrown in trade rumors, and no player wants to be in trade rumors at all. And so when it comes to businesses too, the front office got to make a decision. Like, if we're going to trade JB and we're not getting another superstar player caliber to help out Jason Tatum, then what's our direction? Where are we going to go? So you got to look at all that type of stuff. And I think Jason Tatum will still be top 10 around there, but I don't see him being as number one and stuff like that. I personally just don't see it because you don't know if he's going to be there for the rest of his career on that one Celtics team. I don't see it happening.
Yeah. I mean, look, let's be real. The NBA is now, it's a players' league, man. I mean, if you don't have your situation the way you want it and everything's not, sugar coated to you and the way, you like it, they're gone. So I agree with you. The probability of him being gone is high. And the probability of him going to the Lakers is also high because you know how much he loves the Lakers and Kobe. So that probability is Trent's like, oh man, come on, man.
Bro, you always gotta bring the Lakers up into something, man.
Hey, but Jason Tatum love the Lakers, man. He be having them photo shoots in the Kobe jersey.
He loves Kobe. There's a difference. He loves Kobe.
And what team Kobe play on?
But he doesn't want to play for the Lakers. He loves Kobe. Let me ask you something. You think Jason Tatum's gonna go from the Boston Celtics?
Not right now. Not right now. He grew up a Lakers fan. He grew up a Lakers fan.
You could grow up as a Lakers fan, but as soon as you touch the Boston Celtics, there's no way you're gonna hop onto the Lakers and join one of their biggest rivals. That's like the most disrespectful thing to do in the NBA. He could do it, but I just don't see it possibly happening. Why is he gonna join the Lakers? There's nothing excited over there. Nothing.
Now, hey, chill, bro, boy. Not for right now. It's nothing exciting over there. Not for right now. But look, man, this is how I feel about that statement, right? I looked it up. John Havlicek, he's currently leading Celtics all-time leading scorer, 26,395. Jason Tatum, like I said, is 24 years old. Okay, he's already at 8,942. If he plays in the league for he's been in the league for 6 years. So he plays in the league for another 6 years, and he scores just the way he's been scoring, he will pass that number in flying colors. So
yeah, but I don't want to interrupt you, but you got to think of two, right? You got to think of injuries and you got to think of games where he just doesn't play. Because in that span of time, Jason Tatum is not an injury-prone player. He doesn't miss typical games, but we don't know what the future has for him. Anything can randomly just happen to Jason Tatum. I'm not talking about like a crazy thing, but like an injury can happen, or somehow the NBA goes in lockout and there's only like 40 games. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So you got to look.
I'll give you that.
You got to look at like different reasonings. Now, if it goes from 82 games for the next 6 years and he's on the Celtics, then he's on the pace. But like typically, majority of the time, that's not the case. It's usually not the case.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
no, I feel you. I definitely feel you in that. And that is an interesting question. Let us know in the comment section down below. Like, do you think Jason Tatum eventually becomes the Celtics all-time leading scorer Do you think Jason Tatum even stays on the Celtics for the rest of his career? Because I mean, look, my boy, unless there's a reason, like you said, unless there's a reason for him to leave, he's got it good right now over there, man. Literally every single year he's been there, they've been made a deep playoff run, and he's been an immense part of the team that did it, man. So I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough one, man. Let us know in the comment section down below. Will Jason Tatum be a Celtic for life? Will he be the number one Celtic scorer of all time? But let's get it to the next statement here. Trent, my dog, a team that not a lot of people like, okay? Not the Lakers, but not a team that not a lot of people like, okay? They had the Suns, okay? They had the best record in the league for the last 2 years. They made a finals appearance in one of those, one of those runs they went on. But as of late, they haven't looked the same. Really haven't looked the same at all. Right now, they're on a 6-game losing streak. So my up or down statement to you, my brother, is have the Suns officially lost all their juices and all their momentum, and are they done for?
You know, it's crazy. I uploaded a video probably an hour ago talking about the downfall of the Phoenix Suns. I literally just uploaded a video talking about that.
Go check that out.
The Phoenix Suns are 1-9 in their last 10. They're on a 6-game losing streak. But I want to say stuff like this, right? CP3 is about 37, I believe. He's playing statistical wise is one of his worst in his NBA. His whole career is one of the worst. Points, assists, field goal percentage. His 3-point percentage is pretty high. I give it to him to about 40%. But not only that, the number one overall pick, a former number one overall pick in DeAndre Ayton is too inconsistent. He just got paid a huge contract. He's too inconsistent. If you look at his stats, he's averaging about 17 and a half and 10, which is pretty solid for a big, right? But then there's games December 30th against the Toronto Raptors. He put up 4 points and like 7 rebounds. So you can't have the inconsistency of those two players and then missing your main star players with Devin Booker being out. And he's just average. He's having a career year for himself, but that career year will fit perfect if he had a superstar player with him. You know what I'm saying? So the downfall of this team, I see it coming. DeAndre Ayton is going to be eventually gone. Chris Paul is going to eventually retire. And it's just going to leave Devin Booker and Mikal Bridges. And this front office is very competitive. I want to say very competitive because they have a new owner now because of the other stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see what this front office does. I know they want to make trades for Kuzma, Rui, and Eric Gordon, Kenya Martin, but does that really bring you over the hump? So I think it's done for. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I literally just made a video on it and I pretty much said they're done for. Now, this season, I'm not going to say they're done for just yet. They're 20-21. They're still 8th in the Western Conference, right? When Devin Booker was playing, they were number 1 seed. All right, they're missing their best player on their team. Even with all the inconsistencies, they were still playing some good basketball. So I don't expect this team to fall out of the Western Conference. I still expect this team to be still be a competitive team. I still expect this team to give teams worries. But the next year and the next year after that, it's done for. Chris Paul is gone. DeAndre Ayton is going to be gone. Now you just have Devin Booker. Does Devin Booker want to go through that again? Oh no, throughout his whole career, he dealt with a terrible team. He's the only thing that was exciting for him was dropping 71 points off of L. Off of L. That's the only thing that was really, really excited for during that Phoenix Suns rebuilding station and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting, but I honestly think for Phoenix, it's over.
Man, oh man. Look, hey, I had a hard time, and I went back and forth on this one. I'm not gonna lie, because I've been wanting to back the Suns, and I've been wanting to just honestly respect the Suns, because let's be real, man, having a 2-year stretch where one of the years you go to the finals and another year you and then both of those years you have a best record in the league, like, man, like I got to give some type of respect for that. You can't just stumble upon something like that. Like you gotta be there. You gotta be, putting in the work. And when I'll be watching the Suns, like the thing that impressed me about the Suns is literally 1 through 15 was contributing. 1 through 15 was out there getting it done and helping the Suns, whether it be some points, whether it be a rebound and assist, or they're hustling on the floor. We have players like Damian Lee, who never really got much, who didn't really get much burn, at the beginning of the season, hitting game-winning shots, right? Like just ridiculous things like that. So I was like, man, I got to pay some respect to the Suns. But as of late, I've been watching them, and I'm thinking like, okay, they crumbled in the finals against Milwaukee. They crumbled against Dallas. They're crumbling right now. Chris Paul's about to be 38, and we know the only player to be able to beat 38 and this good is GOAT James, right? Chris Paul is falling out of and falling into pieces. Devin Booker isn't enough to get it done. Like how you said, Devin Booker and Michaela isn't enough to get it done. DeAndre Ayton, like how you said, the number one pick, not only is he inconsistent, he doesn't even look like he wants to be there. He doesn't even look like he wants to be there. So you're telling me the centerpiece, well, Devin Booker might be the centerpiece of the team, but your main big, the guy you're kind of, running your paint touches off of, he doesn't want to be there. Like he doesn't have the attitude of winning. Yeah, there's no way that they're going to be able to seriously compete with teams like the Warriors or not like the Warriors, the Nuggets, the Memphis Grizzlies, who are on a 7-game winning streak right now. All these teams that want to do it and want to be there. Yeah, like the Suns, in my opinion, have officially lost it. Again, like how you said, I don't think they'll fall out of the West, but 6th seed, 5th seed.
Yeah, I still see this team being a playoff team. I still see them winning a playoff series. Devin Booker's a big part. Let's be honest. He's just dealing with a groin injury. Yeah, he's dealing with a groin injury, and he dealt with that throughout his whole career. They said he's going to reevaluate him in like 4 weeks, but that's the thing. Just because they're checking up on him in 4 weeks doesn't mean he's going to be ready to play. Mm-hmm. And so if they extend him out even longer, then I'm going to be concerned. So we need an update on his injury. And if he's ready to play, then I'm going to be like, this team is going to be solid. If they can just remain above 500, if they're not going to remain above 500, just be down 20-21, like around there. But don't go 20-26. Because then now you're going to have to start chasing games. You're going to have to start winning games where you're supposed to be resting a part of the season. Now you're chasing games. Now you're hoping teams lose. So you got to remain above 500. Wait for your superstar player to come back, and we'll see from there.
Man, facts. I love that. I might go ahead and send that to the Suns. My boy, you just gave them the game plan as to how they're going to figure this out, man. But all right, my boy, I like that. So let's go ahead and get to our last up or down statement. That's about the Timberwolves, man. The Timberwolves been on the burner, man. They're on the burner. They're on a 4-game win streak right now. We know that they started the season very bad. Cat went down. There's a lot of drama in Minnesota. But my up or down statement to you, my boy, is Timberwolves are on this 4-game winning streak. It looked good. Up or down? Are the Timberwolves back?
No, I don't think they're back. I do think they did figure out how to play with each other a little bit during the stretch. But once again, you're adding another star player to your team again. And that's going to be a problem. And we already seen that it was a problem when they were playing together offensively and defensively. So with Karl-Anthony Towns coming back, if they can figure that out, then I'll be like, oh, this is a team to watch out for. You know what I'm saying? This is a team to be reckoned with. But I feel like they're throwing shots at each other. Naz Reid, it was a thing that came out. Pretty much they asked them and they said, trust me, we know like what's going on. We know like they wasn't really happy when they got that Gobert and they gave up. I'm not gonna say Rudy Gobert, but they wasn't really happy when they gave up that much for Gobert. Like they know what's up. They're smart NBA players. Like they see what's going around. And so that killed their whole team. They killed their whole team. And the truth of the reality is Rudy Gobert is not playing like an all-star center like he used to be. In this day and generation, you need to be that 5 that stretches out the floor. Like, look at their 2 bigs in the league, Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid. They can both stretch out the floor, but not only stretch out the floor, they can dominate in the paint. They can also help out their teammates do playmaking. Look at Jokic, one of the best bigs out here. Look at Joel. Just because of his presence on the court, just of him just dominating the paint, he gets doubled. And you know when you get doubled, that means your teammates are going to be open for easy layups or easy shots. You get what I'm trying to say? Rudy Gobert, on the other hand, they're not scared of him. They can literally throw Russell Westbrook on him in the post. And they'll be like, fine, keep Russ on him because we don't know if he's going to make a layup. And if we foul him, we're going to take him to the free throw line, and he's mediocre with that too. You get what I'm trying to say? So there's no threat of a Rudy Gobert. There's a threat on the defense end, of course. But it's not a threat when they're in transition because in transition, these guards are going to go be flying right next to Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert. And it's not like you're going to keep these 2 players off the court because you paid them so much money. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. You gave them so much money. You're not keeping them off the court. That would be the dumbest thing for the organization and for the team. For a head coach, honestly, I think it would be really, really bold. But if I'm the coach and I want to win and keep my job and make sure my family's still eating, I got to do what I got to do. So if I gotta put Karl-Anthony Towns in the starting lineup, but bench Rudy Gobert so he's the backup big, go do it. You know what I'm saying? Or just flip them in the playoffs, because if these two players on the court at the same time in the playoffs, it's going to be a disaster. Not only it's going to be a disaster, Anthony Edwards is going to struggle, and you can't have him struggling. And the reason why he's going to struggle is because why? You have all these people clogging up the paint. They're not scared of Rudy Gobert. They're not. They're going to leave him open. Leave him open. Edwards hasn't got that produced that shot where it's lethal. It's still streaky. It's still inconsistent. So what he does is attack the rim, draw fouls. How you gonna do that when you got a Eiffel Tower in there? You get what I'm trying to say? So congratulations on them for keeping a 4-game win streak. Maybe this maybe puts their confidence up, and maybe they can finally figure a way how to add a Karl-Anthony Towns into that mix. But they're in trouble.
They're in trouble, man. They're in trouble. And look, man, I'm a big believer of, you got to give yourself a pat on the back when you know what I'm saying, when you knew it. I called it. Exactly what's going on. I went off on the pod. I was like, why in the world would the Timberwolves ruin what they had just built? And they've ruined it. And I agree with you. Yes, they've figured out a little bit, you know what I'm saying, figured out how to play. But throughout this whole time, I mean, they've gone on this 4-game win streak with one big out there. Not the two big lineup. And even, a win is a win, but come on, man. Let me read off the games, the teams they were beating. I mean, the Nuggets, the Nuggets are number 1 seed. The Blazers crippled, Clippers also on a 6-game losing streak. Rockets, I believe, on a 7-game losing streak. So it's like, all right, I'll give you the dub. A dub's a dub in the NBA. These are all great players, but I mean, like, the Timberwolves digress, man.
You know what I'm saying? They're not playing good hot teams at the moment. I've literally watched the Clippers. They're bad.
They're bad. They're bad.
They're really bad.
They're bad, man. And I mean, look, and even when we look to the Timberwolves, like past the games, before this 4-game winning streak, they went on a 6-game losing streak. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how the game goes. Timberwolves, I think that honestly, like how we said, my boy, they're gonna look back on this trade, but they don't even need to look back. They can just look right now and say, dang, we gave up scores and Malik Beasley. We gave up Patrick Beverley's sucks now, but on the Timberwolves, he was doing his thing, man. He was great on the Timberwolves for what the Timberwolves needed. They gave up Jarrett Vanderbilt, who was a huge part of their defense, or Rudy Gobert.
You know what's crazy? I seen a report coming out that they're looking for a veteran point guard. You know what's crazy about that? Patrick Beverley is that veteran point guard. Like on the Timberwolves, he played good. He did what he had to do. He did what he had to do. Lakers, on the other hand, no. But they're looking for a veteran point guard now after they just gave up him.
Man, oh man, the Timberwolves are tripping, man. But man, well, we got to see what the Timberwolves are going to do next, man. But that's our last up or down statement, my boy. Talk to me about what you got here first.
All right, so I came up with a segment called True or False. Now I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 6 questions for you, right? So obviously it's common sense, either true or false. All right. Now the questions I came up with right here, I'm looking at the first question, John. All right. True or false? Is Russell Westbrook a top? There's 2 questions for this, right? Is Russell Westbrook a top 10 point guard in NBA history? And is he going to be in the Hall of Fame when his career is done and over with?
Hall of Fame? Absolutely. No doubt about it. Top 10 in NBA history. I'm gonna go with true. I'm gonna go with true, man. I mean, I don't think that, or actually not, I don't think, I know for a fact that there aren't a lot of players who did what he did, and averaged a triple-double in the span of I believe 2 seasons. He averaged an entire triple-double. And for that's going to go down in the record books, man. And years down the line, when people aren't looking at the wins and loss column, they're going to be looking at the numbers column. They're going to see that and give it to him. Absolutely.
John finally put some respect on Russell Westbrook. He finally put some respect. There's a reason why I put that question in here for John personally. I started off with that because I wanted to see where's his brain at, and I wanted to see if he's a hater for real. But he's taking his haters out and just putting his real stuff and basketball knowledge in. Thank you. That's it. That's the truth of the reality is if you're a hater of Russell Westbrook, cool. But his stats and statistical stuff that he has done throughout his career can back it up. Just because he doesn't have a championship ring, that's fine. He He beat Oscar Robertson in triple doubles. He won an MVP. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, there's several stuff on his resume that be like certain players don't have. Trust. And the Lakers, they gonna win a championship this year. I'm just chatting right now. Whatever. Okay. Number 2. This one, it can get controversial, but true or false? Does Miles Bridges play an NBA game this season?
Miles Bridges, does he play this season? I'm gonna go ahead and go with the false on this one, man. I'm gonna go with the false on this one. I think the situation is still too hot, man. It's still too hot with everything that's going on in his court case. And at the end of the day, bro, the NBA is a business, bro. So Adam Silver's gonna run this like a business, and he's not gonna want someone or something that's gonna stain his business, and that a criminal charge might do that to you.
So yeah, so let me say what I got to say too. Miles Bridges and the Hornets were in contact of a contract deal. Now let me get this right. I do say he does not play this season, but I do think he does get an opportunity from the Charlotte Hornets once again. Now, from an outside team besides the Charlotte Hornets, maybe there's one or two, but none after that. Because when you add a player like that, they look at your organization, they look at your franchise. Because he pleaded no contest. I'm not sure if you know what that means, John. He pleaded no contest, right? So certain NBA players in that locker room are going to look at him different. Some players in the organization, they're going to be like, why would I want that type of player on my team? So it's going to be hard for him to ever have an NBA career. But the truth of the reality is the Charlotte Hornets are so bad and so desperate, I honestly think they give him a chance and bring him back to this team on a cheap deal.
I mean, if you're the Hornets, you kind of have to try it, right? You got to know that was your second best player.
Yeah, exactly. And let's be honest with you, the players love him. He's their leader.
Yeah, he's their guy.
Love him. Yeah,
he's their guy. Shout out our guy Sam. He's a Hornets guy, and even he knew. He said Miles Bridges was the leader on that team. Might have not been the best player every single game, but he's always the leader, and everyone looks to him.
It's funny. He went to a Charlotte Hornets game, and he was in the crowd. And the first player he went up to was LaMelo Ball, man. They dapped each other up. I was like, yo, they love each other. Like, there's a natural bond. And you know why? Because they're so young. They can relate to a lot of certain stuff. He makes music. I don't know if you listened to his music before, John, but his music ain't bad. Like, the Charlotte Hornets are just a bunch of young kids that are just having fun in the NBA. And just imagine that, John. Like, we're in elementary, but we're getting paid millions and millions of dollars, bro. And we're all on the same team.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's lit, though. I'm not going to lie. That's dope. That sounds like a fun time.
You know what I'm saying? That's the Charlotte Hornets for you. Okay. Question number 3. True or false? DeMarcus Cousins in his prime, is he better than Joel Embiid? DeMarcus Cousins, Sacramento Kings in his prime.
I can't do that. No, I can't do that. No, I can't. DeMarcus Cousins was a freaking problem in his prime, but he also was injury prone. His prime that lasted wasn't as long as Joel Embiid. I think Joel Embiid is the most dominant player in the league right now.
If you're gonna bring injuries up as an argument, Joel is injury prone himself.
Agreed, but he has kept his prime for way longer. DeMarcus Cousins is out of the league.
That's true, but I do want to say something. The reason why DeMarcus Cousins is out the league is because of his attitude, not because of his talent and not because of his skill. Even Michael Malone, the head coach of the Denver Nuggets, saying they gave him a chance. And I don't know if you watched that playoff series, but there was a point in time where even last year, dude, they took Jokic out. The number one option coming off the bench was DeMarcus Cousins. Like, we all know there's limitations with DeMarcus Cousins. He's a terrible defender, but they were speeding him in the post. Easy buckets every single possession. Now he's probably giving up 10, but at least he's giving you 10 and giving Jokic that break. I still think, for the question's sake, personally, I think it's tough. I got to go with Joel, but we're sleeping on DeMarcus Cousins. And I do want to say, during that time with the Sacramento Cousins time, what was the coach's name? George Karl, yep. Hated the Cousins, and that played a part of him in his career ending slowly. He played a part into that. His attitude in that head coach.
Yeah, I mean, hey, yeah, I'll give you that. Hey, man, DeMarcus Cousins was a beast back then. Remember, he was having like 50-point triple-double games, and we were like, wait, what's going on? Like, but now that's the thing. Like, I feel like a player like Embiid can do that and then give you even more on the defensive end.
Yeah. So on the defensive perspective, he blows out DeMarcus Cousins. Blows him out the water. Okay, fair. True or false? Luka finishes his NBA career more rings than Giannis.
Oh, wow. I gotta go false on that. As great, I think Luka will have more NBA MVPs, but Giannis will end up having more championships. Giannis is more of a winner.
I get it. I feel like you're being biased at this point. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel
Wait,
like
what?
you're being
How?
biased. No. Let me not say biased, but I feel like you're being of what you see now. Luka might not even play for Dallas throughout his whole career. He's gonna go to a new franchise. Any team that Luka gets, come on, bro, right? Luka has plenty of time. Giannis in that Bucks team, Drew Holiday's getting a little bit older. Chris Middleton can't stay healthy no more. And we're slowly starting to see that this offensive juggernaut team from the Milwaukee Bucks is slowing down. So I really don't see how many rings. I don't know how much rings Giannis wins, but I think it's going to be closer than people are thinking about. I'm telling you, because if Luka leaves his Dallas Mavericks team and Giannis stays on this Milwaukee Bucks team, I don't know what the future holds for none of them. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting.
But look, I will say this though too. While I'll give it to you, yeah, right now Luka is in a bad situation, and we've said this before on the pod. This is a players' league, so if the Dallas Mavericks don't end up showing Luka that they're serious about winning a championship, yeah, I believe Luka walks too. But I'll say this: Giannis is the best, and when I say the best, I mean best overall. Like taking his on-court play, his off-court play, like his life, like take all that. He's the best superstar. He's the best superstar. Doesn't complain, doesn't whine, works his tail off. You don't hear nothing about him in off-court issues. There's no way he's gonna be on some stingy stuff and like, oh, you like pay me more. Like I think Giannis will be like, yo, like you could pay me less and let's get these players so we can win a championship. Because he's also had a taste of a championship. When you get that taste, you need it.
Yeah, that's a good take. But you know, another thing I want to bring up is that Giannis doesn't seem like the player that recruits. Like he will recruit players that help his team, but like I don't see Giannis because he recruited. It was on Patrick Beverley's podcast. He recruited Patrick Beverley to come to Milwaukee. Yeah. You get what I'm trying to say? But like I don't see Giannis saying to another star player, another superstar player, "Hey man, let's go team up." You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see it. I think I just don't see that happening. You know? And then the other hand, Luka, he's gonna be like, yo, I'm tired of losing, dog. I need people over here. Come over here. You know what I'm saying? And I do feel like Mark Cuban's gonna realize he already realizes that his team needs help. So I definitely see him either make a move, and even if he doesn't make a move, Luka's gonna go to a team that he knows he has a great chance of winning it. So I think that's closer than people expect. Just because Giannis is up on him 1-0, Luka has a long career, and so does Giannis. But it's gonna be interesting. All right. Number 5. You know how Oklahoma City Thunder is in this rebuild, right? After all the rebuild is done and over with, they win an NBA championship after the whole rebuild with Shea, Chet, Giddey, Dort, and whoever they draft with, or even if they trade those draft picks for another superstar player, because I think it does come to the point where it's like, you don't need all that draft capital. You got to flip all that draft capital to a star player. Whenever that's all done and over with, whatever they do, they draft a star player or they trade for a star player to team up with all these players. Do you think they win an NBA championship?
Man, that was a tough one, but I gotta be real with you, man. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think they do it because I honestly think that they're kind of stuck in a position, kind of like you talked about with all these picks. They're kind of stuck in a position to where, I mean, bro, we're seeing what SGA is doing. They could have built around SGA, but now they're gonna maybe build around Czech, right? So like, we don't know where the timeline is, and if we're gonna build around Czech, all right, we're talking about a scrawny little kid that's like this big, right? Who just had a serious ankle injury. He had to miss his entire rookie season. Now he's gonna come back next season. Next season is basically gonna be his rookie year. So, but he's no rookie except LeBron James comes in and just dominates, right? So that's 2 years now at least that Oklahoma City Thunder has to wait for their guy that they're drafted with, their guy they're going for, right? They got to wait at least 2 years for him to be at least in like, all right, I've got a whole NBA season under my belt. Like, I think I know what I'm doing. I feel good. They got 2 seasons to wait for that. SGA, I don't want to butcher his age, but I believe he's 24. I'm gonna look it up right now. He is 24. He is 24 years old. In 2 years, SGA will be 26. I don't think SGA will want to keep staying in this losing situation, waiting for a check, waiting for the next guy to come, right? And then Oklahoma City Thunder has to deal SGA, or he's gonna walk in free agency, and then they could just get thrown right back into this cycle of, oh, now we're rebuilding. Now we're waiting for the next guy.
I disagree. I honestly disagree. Sam Presti's one of the greatest. I'm not saying one of the greatest, but he's a top GM in this league. He knows what he's doing. All right. He flipped Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Paul George, Kevin Durant, and to already won a star player. Shea's going to be a superstar player in this league. All right. But he already flipped that into a Shea. But not only that, right? Shea already made it known that he wants to be here. He wants to be here, win or lose, right? I don't think they built around Chet. I think they already got their star player. Now Chet is now they got the A. Now they're looking for they got their Batman. Now they're looking for Robin. That's who they're looking for right now. And it's really depending on Giddey. It's really going to be depending on Chet or Lou Dort. Who's going to be that Robin? And every single season, as you've seen so far, Josh Giddey has improved. Josh Giddey's a walking triple-double. He has to improve on his jump shot and stuff like that, but it's going to continue rise. Yes, Chet it's gonna take time for him to, get into NBA shape and for him to be the player that we all expect him to be. But if you can get this big three, right, there's no time for this team to win any championship anytime soon, right? So right now you're just developing them. And we're missing out on a lot of players because you got a Jalen Williams, I believe that's his name, who's having a huge season this year. They got a lot of young talent in Trey Mann. Darius Baisley actually is from where I'm from. So shout out to him. Like, they have a lot of talented young players on this team. And I don't think Sam Presti keeps all those draft picks. I think he waits. This is probably the last season or maybe another season where he keeps these picks, and then he's going to trade them. He's going to trade them for a star player, but he's waiting for that right star player. You don't want to give up this much draft capital for a Bradley Beal. What is that going to do for you? You don't want to give this much draft capital for a Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan. You're waiting for that next. I don't even want to say
Zion.
Victor because they already – you want that next Zion or Job with Shea. So I think that's what he's waiting for. But to be honest with you, the last couple of years, OKC has been a competitive team. And you're going to see tonight because or tomorrow, they play the Lakers. No, I'm sorry. They played the Miami Heat. I'm tripping right now. They played the Miami Heat today, but they're a very competitive team, and this team puts buckets up. And don't forget, this OKC team beat the Boston Celtics without their best player in Shea. I know it's just a regular season game. It doesn't really determine anything too much. But the fact that they destroyed the Celtics, they destroyed them. It shows the potential of this team in the NBA. Now, going for a championship, it's hard to win championships. You could have LeBron on your team and still be hard to win championships. You know what I'm saying? But we just see what the future holds. But you could go false. I'm gonna go with true.
And you think SGA is going to be able to fit that timeline? Because look, man, Czech Holmgren is 20 years old. Josh Giddey, 20 years old. Lou Dort, 22. Shea's 24. So again, if you have to take 2 years of losing, do you think Shea goes for that?
He does. What team does he want to play for? That's what I'm
trying. Winning team.
Okay, but there's a difference, John. The people have morals in the NBA. People have stuff like people are not always going to want to win. That's the truth of the matter of this stuff. There's plenty of football players. There's plenty of NBA players where you leaving their team, you know what that does? Now you got to buy a new house. Now you gotta put your kids into a new school. Now they gotta make new friends. Now you gotta transfer all this stuff to a new place. People don't like we're starting over. They really, really don't. Now, when you're a top tier player and you want to win like a KD, a LeBron James, even these players, only star that really leaves our team is like Kevin Durant. LeBron hardly leaves. Let's be honest with you. Steph is never gonna leave. You know, Kawhi Leonard, he went from the Spurs to Toronto to this and that, but they hardly leave. Paul George, they hardly leave their teams, bro. Shea is this guy. Why is he gonna go join another team where he's gonna have to be probably the B option? You know, I know the main goal for these young players are always talk about let's win a championship. But Shea's loving it over there with his young guys. It fits the culture. He loves it. Trust and belief.
Man, all right. Hey, I'll trust you on that because I mean I know you've been on OKC for a minute. Guy Trent been an OKC fan for a minute.
So, last question. It's funny that we're talking about Shea. Is going to be true or false? Is Shea going to be a top point guard in this NBA league when Steph Curry and Kyrie Irving are done and over with? Well,
Yeah.
let's just say Steph. Let's just say Steph, because I honestly think Shea could be better than Kyrie Irving if he. Bro, the improvement's been crazy, but okay.
Yeah, I gotta go with true, man. I mean, you know that some people may look at it as blasphemy, but you know what I was talking about when I said put SGA in a starting role in the All-Star game over Stephen Curry, right? So I know that may sound crazy to some people out there, but that's the way he's been playing. He's been balling out. He's been there. He's been available. The best kind of ability is availability. He's been available. He's been consistent. He's been a killer. He's just been a killer, man. So for that, I absolutely got to give it to SGA. I will say this though, I did not expect this jump. Like, if anything, he should get most improved. Would you agree with that or no?
I think it's low key. I low key like most improved award to me personally. I think it's disrespectful.
From bad to like good, right? That's what you usually think it is.
I see most improved like. I gotta think of a player. Damian Lee. That's the top of my head. He went from a nobody to somebody that's an important role player coming off the Phoenix Suns. You get what I'm trying to say? That's why I see it. Like a shade to me, getting most improved is just like disrespectful.
Disrespectful.
He shouldn't even.
But wouldn't you agree that I agree? I agree because I don't think that should be given to Shea, right? But like, wouldn't you agree though that like it would be blasphemous to put him in the MVP conversation though? Because I don't think he stands a chance in the MVP conversation. So that's technically the only because he had the greatest jump, right?
I mean, I think you could put him in the. I think you could put him in the MVP conversation just because you're in the MVP. Yeah, but you're still in the conversation, right? Just because you're in the conversation doesn't mean you're going to be the favorite to win it. At least you're in that conversation because you're playing good enough to get up there. You know?
Man, okay, I feel you, man. Okay, that was a tough one, my boy. For the family, let us know how you feel about all these true or false ones. My boy Trent put together a great segment here for us, so thank you for that, my brother.
For sure.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. But all right, man. I think it's a good place for us to go ahead and just start to wrap it up here, man. We had a very fun, jam-packed episode, and just stay tuned, man. You know what I'm saying? Not too much to say. Stay tuned. More episodes coming out. Streams, TikToks, Twitter, Instagram. Get at us. Let's Talk Pod. My boy Trent, you got any last words to say before we skedaddle out of here?
I don't, man. Listen, me and John are doing a lot of work when this camera turns off, man. Just for y'all, man. Just for y'all. Let's Talk community, family. We're doing a lot of work. Just keep supporting us, and we're gonna continue to drop content out.
Facts, man. Facts. I couldn't have said it best, man. So if that's it, then we out of here, y'all. Let's talk out.